Spartans, welcome back to another video. In today's video, you need to mark this day down in history where Leonidas beat somebody who was over 2000 elo in Rapid. For those of you who don't know, I started playing chess in January of 2023, and if you've seen the content I put out at the very beginning of the year as opposed to the stuff that I do now, it's night and day. I'm getting better and better at the edits, getting better at talking in front of the camera, getting better at a whole bunch of things. But one thing that has gotten better as well is my chess. I started around 600 elo and I've worked my way up to where most of my things are now over 1100. Now you might be saying to yourself, how did you in 1100 beat somebody who is over 2000 in Rapid? Well, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna see if there's something a little sus about this opponent, but more importantly, we're gonna look at the game where I did play very well and my opponent maybe didn't play as well, and we're gonna see how I got the victory. So our story begins with our antagonist, Omar, who's from Mexico. Obviously loves the Duolingo flair because he probably played in the event and potentially just likes the green square, green bird right there. As you can see here on the right hand side, Chess.com has so succinctly put his rapid rating, his blitz rating, and his bullet rating. You can see here that he has a rapid rating of 2125, a blitz rating of 1843, and a bullet rating of 1144, which on the surface doesn't trigger any alarms, not at all. Because some people don't like to play bullet at all. I was one of those for a while, and maybe his bread and butter is just blitz and rapid. But as we go into his stats here, you can see here, let's go to his rapid first. Rapid first all time. Rapid first, any good chess player who starts off on chess.com loses a bit and then slowly increases and steadily finds his way. But you'll see here that in the 2 years he's had, he's not really had any crazy dives down into the depths of losing a whole bunch of games in a row. We'll go into his blitz as well, and potentially this man could play on a different account, and this could be his main account, which definitely could be a possibility. But I'm just showing you what I see on this account here. Like in his rapid, his blitz starts off low, continues to go up, doesn't really have any big drops. And then we'll go into his bullet. In his bullet, you can see here in the 2 years, this looks more like somebody who's played chess and has a little bit more of a struggle playing chess. You go through your highs, and then you go through your lows, and then you go through your highs, and then you go through your lows, and then you go through your highs. And this is interesting. In the 90 days here, let's zoom in, he went from 1335 all the way down to 944. So you're telling me this man lost 400 elo in 90 days in bullet, but in blitz in 90 days, he's steadily kept his the same or he's increased it. And one other thing, this game that we played was 2-1 bullet. This man plays a lot of 2-1 bullet, not a lot of 1-1, a lot of 2-1, which in all intents and purposes is the same as about a 3-0 blitz game, because you get a second increment, and that can add up over time to be even a longer game than a 3-0 on blitz. So let's look at my account for comparison's sake. My bullet is 1100, blitz is 1116, and rapid is 1075. I started playing, as you can see here, January 20th of 2023, and we'll go through my stuff here very quickly. I don't want to make this too long. We'll go all time, and you can see here they start you off high and you drop down to where you level out, and you can see the bumps in the road. As I get whooped, I get better, I get whooped, I get a little better, and I start figuring things out. And then I kind of take a hiatus because I don't play a lot of blitz or a lot of rapid. I switch over to blitz at one point. In my blitz, you can see here, same thing. Since I started with rapid, I was a little bit better, but you see here I started at 446. Started at 551, went down to 446, and have slowly worked my way up. Slowly but surely, ever so slightly in the last year, worked my way up. I peaked at 1000 here, then I lost, went down to 893, and now we're sitting at 1116. And then in my bullet, you can see here all time, didn't play bullet, went down a little bit to 561, then lost a little bit more, went down to 512, slowly, steadily got better. Then I didn't want to play anymore because I went on a long losing streak from 826 to 721 or 701. I lost 126, then I lost another one, and then I lost another one. So I didn't play for a while until I got back into it in October, and then I started winning, and then I lost. And so that kind of shows you the difference between our accounts. His steadily goes up in most of his things, mine goes up and down, up and down. Now I'm not accusing Mr. Omar of cheating or anything like that to you guys, but I will say it is kind of sus. So let's get into the game and see how I beat a 21-25. I didn't beat him in rapid, I beat him in bullet, but if he's a 21-25 in rapid, he should still have some very high level skills to beat somebody who's an 1100 in bullet. So let's get into the game. This is a 2-1 bullet game, which means you have 2 minutes per side, but you also get 1 second added to each move, which after a few moves added on at the end of the game, you're probably playing more chess time-wise than you would in a 3-0 blitz game, which is kind of weird because if he's 1800 blitz, how is he only 1120 bullet if we're playing roughly the same increment? Because most players play 3-0 blitz. But the game begins with an e4 push, and my opponent does not go for e5, which if he had gone for e5, I would have gone for something like this, followed by pushing this pawn out here, trying to go for the Vienna gambit. But he doesn't do that. Instead, he goes for the French. But ladies and gentlemen, when you have an opponent that does not take the center right away, you want to take the center. I don't even know what opening this is without looking at what chess.com says, but I do know principal chess enough to know that if your opponent doesn't take the center, you should take the center. He strikes back within the center, trying to go for an exchange potentially, but I don't want to. I want to go for the advanced French, apparently. All that means is that he's trying to instigate in the center, and I realize that if I take in the center, I have split pawns in the center with a king that's wide open. I don't decide to do that. I instead try to reinforce, and my opponent develops. And ladies and gentlemen, this is an inaccuracy technically. What they wanted me to do was put the knight on the rim on a3, which I'm in 1100. I will never put the knight on a3 unless I sit down and I take a few hours to study the advanced French variation. Normally, I'm just going to reinforce my knights, connect my knights here, and live to fight another day. My opponent then decides to take in the center, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very interesting position because the knight takes, and I realize, uh-oh. He's about to castle, and I'm about to lose this pawn with potentially a check. So I need to do something very quickly to make it at least an even game, because it's even now, but if you looked at this without the eval bar, you'd be like, okay, white's in a little bit of a pickle because they have no center pawns taking control besides this one, but this one is about to get taken by the king or the queen, and all their pieces are in the back rank. Yes, black's pieces are there too, but they also have a stronger pawn position. So I have to do something in a hurry. Checks, captures, attacks. I look for a check. He has to block unless he loses the right to castle, which I take right away because I realize I need to fight back. There's 2 things in chess that you have that determine who's winning. It's king safety and material. And it's in the balance now. The game is teetering on a knife's edge because he is, after I castle, taking this pawn, which is an inaccuracy. He's up 2 pawns, but his king is out in the open. I'm down 2 pawns, but my king is safely tucked away. Who is winning? Well, according to Stockfish, according to the engine right now, I'm up 1.0 on the eval bar, but I have to make sure I get the attack coordinated right away because that could go down in a hurry if he continues to develop here, continues to here, and he can maybe just slide his king back. So I give a check, and he tries, after I move my knight out, tries to go for a queen trade. And ladies and gentlemen, when you're down material, you do not want to go for a queen trade. I spend about 30 seconds trying to figure out what the best queen move is. The best queen move is actually h4 check, which is kind of weird because it looks like you get blocked here. And then the best move here is this, which I have a 2.0 eval bar advantage right here, but there's no way in God's green earth that in a blitz game or a bullet game that 1100 is going to be able to find that. So, best move that I made, I spent 30 seconds, is moving my queen to f4. Move my queen to f4 because I want to attack this pawn. It is weak because I did calculate enough. If they do try to block here, I can now move my knight to attack the queen. The queen has to run, and now I can start infiltrating and continuing to put pressure on this exposed king. But my opponent, all 21-25 of himself, sees that and tries to go for another queen trade. But if you don't have to trade your queens, why would you trade your queens? He blunders this, he moves his knight out, and then he allows me to take this pawn. His king is exposed, my king is safe, and that's how I beat a 21-25. I played an excellent game. I played a 94.5% accuracy. As you can see here, these are all theory moves, which I don't know anything about the advanced French. I just played moves that looked good, looked natural. And ladies and gentlemen, that check came in clutch. It pulled the king out because I was down 2 pawns, but I just kept fighting, kept putting pressure, and eventually he blundered. I took a pawn, and I took another pawn, and now I'm winning. Chess.com had me rated as 1850 for this game. For him, it had him rated at 1350, which I don't know a lot of 2125s and a lot of people who are 1800 that are playing horrible games. Maybe I caught them on a bad day, who knows? But all I do know is I'm getting better at chess. A lot of my ratings have been slowly increasing, and a lot of my chess.com evaluations have been slowly estimating me at a rating above 1500 consistently. So I feel like I'm at the cusp of breaking through into that next echelon of intermediate chess player. I've only been playing for a year. I got a wife and I got 2 kids, or 1 kid on the way actually. I don't have a lot of time to play chess, but I do love to play. I love making content for you guys, and I love getting better, and I seem to be getting a little bit better. Maybe this guy is cheating, maybe he's not, but I'm still very proud of the way I play this game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Hold the line until next time. Peace.